Okay, so after that last video, I got to thinking that, let me adjust this here. I got thinking that I want to show the power of personnel units. So personnel units are infantry for the Republic of Constitutional States and conscripts for the Unified Socialist countries. The difference between the two is that the conscripts have an armor of 4, and they can attack other personnel units for 3, and they can attack vehicles and structures for 1 without any upgrades. You can upgrade them to railguns, which gives you a range of 3 and an attack of 3. Then the infantry for the Republic of Constitutional States, they have an armor of 6. They can attack, but they can only attack other personnel units for 2. They're more accurate, and they can attack vehicles and structures for 1. They're upgradable to anti-tank missiles, which have an attack of 2 and a range of 3. So what I have set up here is I've got units 1 and 2 as conscripts, and 3 and 4 are light tanks. And then 1 and 2 are Grim Reaper heavy tanks, and I'm doing the Mirage armor. I want to test, because the Mirage armor reduces enemy attack accuracy by 20%, but that is really, really overpowered. There has to be, like, this tank has almost no weaknesses. It needs to have a weakness, and I think that would be personnel. And so I'm going to test it where enemy attack accuracy is only effective against other vehicles. So what we have here is we got these 2 conscript units that have moved in, and we have these 2 light tanks, and then on the other side we've got the 2 Grim Reapers, and we've got 2 of the tactical support vehicles for them, and they get to attack infantry for 3, but if you can move them within range, and they are 1, 2, 3, and of this one, this reduces with suppressive fire, it reduces the accuracy by 20%. So this is now down to 50. So I want to see how personnel units match up against the tanks, just to demonstrate that. And then we're going to show how suppressive fire works, and we're going to show how also we've got these other 2 tactical supports. These are going to be infantry, and the infantry are going to move in, and then we're going to hopefully see a face-off with some infantry and conscripts. And as per usual, we're going to have our timers here available for some actions. So we're both engaged in combat, and we're going to have all of our 30s available. So, all right, so red is the aggressor again, and where my dice went, I guess I'll use this one. Oh, here it is. All right, so 1 is going to attack 1, and they've got railguns, so we're doing fully upgraded stuff. So 1 is going to attack the Grim Reaper for 1, or for 3, and that is a hit. And 2 is going to attack the Grim Reaper for 3. Oh. So 2 hits for 3. Okay, and then attacked with these 2, and then the light tanks are going to attack the tactical support vehicles for a hit and a miss. So we've got a hit on number 4, we'll say. All right, so let's see. Got a 10. Let's see. Actually, this one was a miss because this one was under suppressive fire because this was a 60. That was my bad. So heavy tank's pretty damaged there. They are going to do a repair. They're going to do a repair on that. So they're going to do a 60-second repair, so that's going to take 2 of the damage cubes away. Alright, so these two are going to focus on killing that infantry. So they are going to both attack that single infantry for a hit of 3. Alright, so this infantry is dead because they have armor of 4. So that was 2 hits. The other thing is repair and healing. I got thinking about that too, and if a unit has sustained enough damage to where it would normally be destroyed, I think I'm going to put a rule in here where if enough damage has been dealt that it's destroyed, that you can't repair it anymore because there's nothing left to repair. So that's how we're going to play that. So these can't be healed and this can't be repaired. Alright, so 3 and 4 are going to attack this tactical support. Or they've already made their attacks, sorry. And let's see. So now this infantry unit is dead. And this is dead. And so he is going to commit a move timer. 1, 2, and he wants to get up close here. Let's try and take out that other infantry, and so now these infantry are going to move in. They have a speed of 2. Alright, so two more move timers. There should be enough to get them within range later, I think. We'll see. See what happens. Alright, so now I have this infantry left. And I know that the Grim Reapers can't really do much, so I'm going to have this infantry attack this tactical support. And that is 20, so that's below the 50, so that would be destruction on that. Alright, so the Grim Reaper can attack infantry for 1. And they hit. And then the other Grim Reaper, so the other Grim Reaper attacks for a hit. So they're taking some damage there. And let's see, the tactical support is going to attack for a hit of 3, and they are dead. And oh, I didn't even attack with these two, so we'll backtrack here. So 3 and 4 are going to attack these infantry units for 2 damage each. A miss and a miss. And let's see, I am going to actually play, and I'm going to move some reinforcements in. So I'm actually going to move and bring in this infantry squad, or conscripts, and I am going to, they'll be available for the next round. So then, actually no, they should be available now. So 5 and 6 want to take out 3 and 4, so they're going to do that. for a hit and a hit. So 2 and 2. Alright, so now everybody's attacked. 2 more. And dead. And dead. Alright, so now they're going to do their final move and surround this guy. So this conscript, well, let's see, what do they want to do? Well, I could evacuate them, but I'm going to see how long they survive. So we're going to go 2 on 1 because they're almost dead, and that is a hit for 3, so they're gone. Right, so he is attacked. All right, and then 1 attacks for a hit of 1. And hit. And then the infantry gets to attack for 2 for a hit. And hit, so these conscripts are dead. So now, had these conscripts lasted quite a bit longer than what a vehicle would have, but that's because they've got more armor versus vehicles, but less armor versus the infantry. So, if you were to take these two, if you were to do 2 infantry squads, or 2 conscripts versus 2 Grim Reapers solely, like this, then you would roll for a hit and a hit of 3. And then they would attack back for a hit and a hit. So that's 1 and 1. And then the conscripts attack back for a hit and a hit. So now these guys are dead. They've taken their 4 damage each. And they can attack back for a miss and a hit. And now your conscripts are left alive. But they're very weak versus tactical supports, or they're fairly weak against tactical supports, and they're pretty weak against against infantry. So the conscripts are going to be effective against taking out Grim Reapers, but then if we were to pit infantry versus conscripts here, so conscripts attack infantry for 3 and a miss, so 3 damage here and a miss. And so now your conscripts attack back, or your infantry attacks back for 2 and 2. Alright, now it's conscripts do their next round of attacks for a miss and a hit. So 3 damage here. Alright, infantry attacks back for a hit and a hit. So now the conscripts are both dead. And the infantry, if they would have taken their extra hits, then they would have, one of them, they would have died too. So I've got it set up to where, if conscripts get to hit infantry twice, they get, conscripts and infantry, if they can make 2 hits, then they destroy each other. So, but I want the conscripts to be, slightly weaker units, but their power comes in slightly weaker the fact that they don't have as much armor as infantry, but they're a little bit stronger the fact that they've got the railguns. So, anyway, yeah, the power of personnel in this is going to be something. It used to be where infantry were pretty much super weak and they were just a waste. Nobody used them, but now that I've changed this, it's from the little bit of testing that I've done with it, it's shown that building your army out or your attack force out to be a mix of units, so that way you have all your strengths and weaknesses kind of balanced out, is going to be really key. But there are some situations where you need to overbuild on a certain unit to get out there and lay some major damage down on other vehicles like mining trucks and stuff, and the infantry might not fare so well because the base defenses are out there that can kind of hurt them very much. So anyway, that is personnel units.